Welcome back to the lecture series of electronics measurement and instrumentation. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about a digital voltmeter. The digital voltmeter are measuring instruments. Basically, digital voltmeter consists of analog to digital converter, which have the digital readout and digital display. So, any DVM is capable of measuring analog DC voltages with appropriate signal conditioner preceding the input of DVM. Quantities such as voltage, resistance, DC and AC current, temperature, pressure can also be measured. It means with the help of the digital voltmeter, if we have the appropriate signal conditioning instruments, then we are able to measure AC voltage, resistance, DC and AC current, temperature, pressure, etc. It means digital voltmeter is also called a digital multimeter. So these digital multimeter are electronic volt ohm meter with digital display. The common element in this signal conditioning is DC voltage, which is proportional to the level of unknown quantity being measured. This DC output is then measured by DEVM. The important characteristics of the digital voltmeter are the range of the digital voltmeter is varies from plus 1 to 1000 volt, and they have the automatic range selection switches, and they have also overload indication facility. So, and that is the one of the advantage. Sorry, performance characteristics. Second one is the accuracy. Accuracy is the as high as 0.005% of the reading. Then, if you move to the resolution, resolution is 1 part in million. It means 1 microvolt reading can be read or measured on 1 volt range. Quite high resolution we are able to achieve in digital voltmeter. Then the input resistance, that is typically 10 mega ohm. High input impedance is required for any measurement and low output impedance is required. So the input resistance offered by this device is around 10 mega ohm and the capacitance is 40 picofarad. It's calibrated internally from stabilized reference source independent of the measuring circuit. It means that they have the proper calibration, and this calibration is independent upon the measuring circuit. Output is, we have the BCD form because we have using the digital display, so the output is display in the BCD form, and it is also available for print. If we want to print the output, then we have required further digital processing. That facility is also available. Optical feature is also available. So these are the basically performance characteristics of the digital voltmeter. It means digital voltmeter is actually a multimeter. It has the very high range, high accuracy, high resolution, a very good calibration, and have digital display that able to display BCD number. BCD is nothing but binary coded decimal number. Then the first digital voltmeter is called use is dual slope integrating type DVM. Before this we are using the ramp technique to measure a voltage. What is the ramp technique? See this particular diagram, a ramp is shown. This particular ramp is started from a negative point having the voltage V1 and then it's moved to the positive. Then we can use it is a goes to the comparator, and that particular comparator have divided into two parts. In the one is called T1 and another is called T2. And ramp in the T1 duration, ramp is starting from some negative value and end to the 0 point, and when it is goes to the positive, comparator output is become negative. So it basically superimpose noise. In the dual ramp technique, noise is averaged out by positive and negative ramp using in the process of integration. So basically the noise is very small in the dual slope ramp. If you are using a simple ramp, dual slope means ramp is cover half of the ramp is started from the negative or move and then move to the positive, or is start from the positive and move to the negative. Simple ramps, either it is the positive side or it is a negative side. Then what is the principle of dual slope type DBM? See this particular circuit 5.3. Input voltage EI, they see here, that is the EI, is integrated. Actually this ramp type input we require an integrator, so that's why we are using EI is integrated with the slope of the integrator output proportional to the test voltage. Then if this particular slope is proportional to the this voltage, after fixed time interval equal to T1, the input voltage is disconnected and the integrator output is connected to the negative voltage. See there, in half of this particular time T1 it is connected to the E1, and in the T2 it is connected to the ER, that is connected to negative voltage. The integrator output will have a negative slope which is constant and proportional to the magnitude of a input voltage. So that is the basically explanation of this particular circuit. So see this particular diagram. At the start, pulse reset the counter. See this particular circuit. This circuit is connected to this particular counter, and this counter is connected to the AND gate. So if this output is the 0, output of the AND gate is the 0, so it's reset this particular counter. So at the start of the pulse, reset the counter and flip-flop output is at the 0 level. Then this it is a 0. Then what there is SI is closed. See this particular it is SI, and SR is open. The SR is open. Capacitor, once it is the close, this that particular circuit is an integrator circuit. Then this capacitor start charging through this resistance R. Integrator output exceed the 0. Once its output is exceed the 0, then the E0 will increases. Once E0 is increases, the second terminal of this comparator is at the 0. So once this E0 is above the 0, it's got output. Then the output will change. Once the output will change, this output is applied at this terminal. So it's applied to this terminal, and it means this particular gate is again active. See this particular integrator output will exceed. The comparator output voltage change the state, which open the gate, so the oscillator clock pulse are fed to the counter, and when the ramp voltage when the counter reach to the maximum count. See this again I try to explain. Once this S1 initially, this gate voltage is a 0, so the gate output will the 0. It will reset the counter, and they reset the counter, and then it is a oscillator circuit. Then this counter is reset to 0. Then it start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. During this counting time, this particular capacitor is also start charging, because this particular SI switch is closed, and once this E0 is greater than the voltage applied in the second terminal of this comparator, again our output we got, and with the help of this output and this it means at this particular time there are the two input, and if there are any input is the 0, again this it is the 0, and this counter indicate the voltage EI. See this particular explanation. Sorry, the counter is made to run from time T1. In this case it is 9999. Actually it is a 4 displays, that is the 4 input is the counter, so 0000. Each count is start from the 0 and move to the 99. So it means the minimum quantity is 0000 and maximum is 4 times 9. In the next clock pulse, all the digits goes to the 0, and counter activate the flip-flop to the logic level 1. This activate the switch drive EI, and EI is disconnected, and ER is minus ER is connected to the integrator. The integrator will output will have a negative slope with this, which is constant. That is integrator output now decreases linearly to 0 volt. Comparator output state change again and clock the gate The discharge time T2 is now proportional to the input voltage. The counter indicates the count during the time T2. When the negative slope of the integrator reaches 0, the comparator switches to the state 0 and gate closes, and thus the capacitor C is now discharged with constant slope. As soon as the comparator input find that E0 is 0, the counter is stopped, and the pulse counted by the counter thus have the direct relation with the input voltage. Actually, what they try to explain, once this switch is closed, then this capacitor is charged. Once it is charged, then this comparator output have changed the state. Once this comparator output is changed the state, that is applied to this input, and once it is applied to this input, then this value is again changes, and once this value is changes, then this switch is open and that particular switch is closed. If this particular switch is closed, so it is a minus ER, and this capacitor is already charged in the previous cycle. It means that particular capacitor is discharging, because this output is connected, the reference voltage is the 0, and here the input is at the negative level. So this capacitor is start discharging, and once it is the start discharging, it means in the first time interval T1 this capacitor is charges, in the second time interval T2 this capacitor start discharging due to the potential difference available at input and output terminal of the capacitor. So during the discharging time, this counter, because this counter is initially reset to the 0, and then whole process will start, then its counting is moved to the upward direction. It will 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and this counting process is continue till the T2 duration. At the end of this T2 duration, this voltage E0 will again the 0, and this output of this comparator again change the state. Once this output of this comparator change the state, this counter is again reset to the 0. So before reset to the 0, what is the count value shown in this counter is directly proportional to the input voltage. That they try to explain in this particular explanation. So then they see the diagram. Charging time E0 is minus 1 upon RC. It is a general equation, and so we write E1 EI T1 upon RC. Then the discharging time. So the comparator is switched from one state to another state when the E0 charging duration and during discharging duration is equal. It means E0 is minus E0, that is equal to 0. So we put these value, and then it's become this, and then we have solved, we got the value of EI ER in T2 upon T1. So if the oscillator period equal T, then the counter indicate N1 and N2 count respectively. So with because we know what is the relation between the T1 and T2, because T1 and T2 is the ramp time. So with the help of this, we are able to, this particular is ratio T2 upon T1 ratio is actually either the N1 or N2. It means EI is ER multiplied by the N1. So we are able to know what is the value of the EI that will be displayed in the second. If EI divided by ER, it means it is a rationalized, then it is equal to T2 upon T1. It means if the count is proportional to T2 and T1, so this particular count value is directly shown the real output voltage. See here again they try to this EI is N2 upon N1T. Just T2 and T1 we have put the value. It means EI equal to N2 upon N1 into ER. Then the list K equal to ER upon N1. Then EI equal to K1 into N2. So it is evident that accuracy of the measured voltage is independent upon the integration time. So integration does not affect the accuracy. Time T1 and T2 are measured by count of the clock given by number N1 and N2. The clock oscillator period T if N1 and ER are constant, then accuracy of this method is also independent of oscillator frequency. So the dual slope technique has excellent noise rejection because the noise and superimposed AC are averaged out in the process of integration. So that is basically the advantage. They have excellent noise suppression or noise rejection, and the speed and accuracy are readily varied according to the specific requirement, and we are able to get accuracy of 0.05% in 100 millisecond is available. So that is all about a dual slope type digital voltmeter. So that is all about the digital voltmeter, and the next class we are going to discuss about integrating type DVM. Thanks for your kind attention.